Good morning. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here in the chat, and then we'll go from there. Mr. Max Voltage, my man. Luke is in the house as well. Good to see you, buddy. Andrew Masad, Vinny, Kyle Rosa, Alien Black. We have Chris Hanley. Let's see. Mining to fill my bags. I absolutely love that name. It's great. Zarkov, Gene, good to see you. Charles Harris, my man, Big Black, Crypto KJ.
Perfect.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Burn, Kyle Rosa, anybody else I may have missed, I apologize. Red, Casper Kane, you're awesome. All right, let's get into this market. Looking like 58,797. What is happening? At least everything looks green today. It looks good, right? Guys, listen, sell-offs are going to happen. This really wasn't even that bad. 58K is still a blessing in disguise, right? And we'll get into it in a little bit. But Ethereum, $3,000 even, basically. BNB at 563 bucks. We get Solana at $138. ADA's at 45 cents. We have DOT at $7. Look at that, $7.03, 7.88% up on the day. Let's see, LTC is up to $80.40. We have Caspa up to 10.8, almost 11 cents. Celestia is up 8.92% today. Look at that. Nice, $10. Not too bad. Let's see, ETC is at 25 bucks. I think this is severely undervalued, to be honest. ETC I think is going to do very well. We have XRP at 51 cents. Dogecoin looks like the meme coins are popping off a little bit today, actually. Pepe is in the deep green, up almost 20%. Damn. Wow, that's a nice jump, huh? That's crazy. WIF up 16% almost. Wow. $2.78. I wonder if any of you guys got in on that. That's crazy. If you guys have any questions, obviously just at in the chat. All right, let's move on to crypto bubbles, see what we got over here on the day. Looks like biggest earner is to be Pepe. Again, 20.5% up on the day. Interesting. WIF again, 15.3%. We got Hex. Look at this. Wow. Back from the dead into ranking 100 exactly. 17.2% on the day. What else we got? Jupiter is up 11.7% to almost $1, just under $1, like literally by a hair. Bonk is up 13.3% on the day. Let's see, 11.1 on Solana, 137 bucks. What's this? Arweave, we got $32, 20 cents over here, 14.5% up on the day. Nothing too crazy. Filecoin's looking good, 7.3%. Let's see, Max, what do you think? Still think it's gonna go? Think it's gonna be a huge earner or what? Let's see. Oh, look at little old Casper down there. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Look at this whole thing. Ranked 44th, dropped 3 ranks, 10.8. Guys, listen, I can't wait to see what Casper does. Casper's never been through an actual bull run, and we're not there yet, so we're gonna see. All right, flashbang, apologize. 43 on the fear and greed index. You guys understand how good this is? Again, be greedy when people are fearful and be fearful when people are greedy. Typically when this needle starts coming down below the 50 mark, man, that's a good buying opportunity. That's just my opinion. And again, pullbacks are going to happen, right? If we were still up here and we had this like disgusting pullback, yeah, we'd have a problem over here, right? But I think this is good. We needed a reset. We needed a reset to be able to have an additional lift off, and that's what's, you know, coming eventually. All right, moving on to CoinGecko. We have trending coins over here. Camino up 59%. I don't know what that is. Dion, I don't even know how to say that. D1 Di1, I don't even know how to say that. 7.3%. Wormhole 15.6. all right, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. Where is everyone? What do you mean where is everybody? Oh, there's still 98 people here. Appreciate you all. Joe Bowden, it's a Geo Bowden. Big Black. Top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lido staked Ether, Dogecoin, and Toncoin still in 10th place. Toncoin still holding a $17 billion market cap. That's crazy. Guys, the thing, like Dogecoin, man, Dogecoin's been like, it's crazy to me that Dogecoin has survived as long as it has and been in the top 10 as long as it has. It's crazy. Cardano is in 11th place at a $16.1 billion market cap. We got Shiba still in 12th. I wonder if Shiba is going to lift off again. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's going to or not? Let me know in the chat. Zarkov, appreciate you. What's up, Mr. Crypto Mining for Seniors? All right, let's move on down here. We have, again, Litecoin, I think is a very good buying opportunity. Not financial advice, my opinion. 410 is the all-time high, down 80% overall. Again, run-ups, right? 2017, 2021, 2024 is gonna bring a bull run, right? We're nowhere near the peak of this bull run, and you guys don't even understand. It hasn't gotten started. We just went through the halving. This happens every single time before the bull run, right after the halving. It happens all the time. We have pullbacks, things, people get nervous, miners are unprofitable for a bit until I don't know honestly, sentiment in the market just changes and things go up, and it happens every 4 years. So we're gonna see what happens there. Caspa 10 7 8, look at that. Let's see, let's go to the max chart. We're still in this descending wedge. We haven't like broken anything. I mean, it's still, this is like obviously an ass chart, right? But overall, like if you drew lines, you know, we'd still be in this channel, which is pretty good, making a big ass flag. So hopefully their Rust protocol goes well, and we see, what is it, 10 transactions per second, or blocks per second rather. All right, let's see. Yeah, nothing else really jumping out at me. Render might be a good buy, actually. Render $7.69. That's pretty decent, actually. It's down 43%. About 2 months ago, it was at 13.53. When this bull run takes off, I think Render's going to do very well. Probably back over, easily over 10 bucks. Let's see. Whatever you think of Caspa, it has held up well for a long time now. Yeah, Andrew Masad, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. And I mean, we can see that by the charts over here. Moving on to the mining segment of things, you guys know, like the timestamp, this stuff, we have 10 cents per kilowatt hour, making sure that's there today, because I was looking at it at 30 cents yesterday and it threw me off real bad. We have the KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit making 90 bucks a day. KS5 20 terahash unit making 86.09. We have, let's see, the KS5L making 47.82. The AL box, this is the 360 gigahash unit on a lithium, 180 watts, $43 a day. This thing is going down. It's going down as days go on. What's the lithium looking like? Let's just look quick. $2.10. Oh damn, man, that's taking a real hit, huh? Damn, that's kind of awful. All-time high was $3.86. We're down almost 50%. Jeez, 45%. That's crazy. Well, I mean, you know what? Listen, I'm happy it's still up here, but when these new miners come out, shit, this thing's gonna go right down, right down to the bottom, and it's gonna be awful. But we'll see. I hope lithium works out. I hope the price appreciates, along with Caspa, and those two miners will be hopefully the top of the charts for a while. The IB Link BMKS Max 11 terahash unit, we got $40 a day, 40.82 to be exact. The Windminer K9 10.3 terahashes, making $40.13 a day. Excuse me. The KS3 8 terahash unit making $29.64. Let's see, the Ice River KS3M 6 terahash unit making $19.83. Bruh. That's getting really bad. That's getting really low. The Grin Miner iPolo G1. This thing's kind of interesting, right? This thing's been in like the top 20 on the miners for a while, and it's kind of weird to think that like Grin is actually making $10.40 a day on this miner at 2,800 watts. It's crazy. It's crazy. DJ, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Let's see. What else? We got the Antminer L7. Shout out to Terra Hosting. This is where I got my unit, paying 10 cents kilowatt hour. I'm making $8.75 a day right now. Again, mining Dogecoin and Litecoin. About 85% of your profits are in Dogecoin. Yeah, this unit, for a 3-year-old unit, you know, it was created about 3 or 4 years ago. For being that old and still being this profitable, I'm excited for the L9. I can't wait to see it like pump up on this chart and see where it's at. Where is, oh god, I don't even want to look. I'm just gonna type it in. S19K. we're gonna look. We're gonna see how bad it is. Come on, really? I don't care. All right. Oh no. I'm making at 10 cents kilowatt hour. I get this thing hosted at Terra Hosting. I am losing $1.16 a day. Bruh. That is terrible. Oh my god, that's awful. So your estimated revenue 24 hours is $5.47, but you're paying $6. You're paying $6 and something to run it, or $7. All right, it says electricity $6.62. That's crazy. Well, all right, so as you guys know, right, when you're hosting units, you typically have contracts to keep machines on. And listen, I ain't no Timmy. I'm still stacking. It's fine. It's 1 unit. It's $1 a day. It'll change, okay? It's not, if it gets worse, then hey, we'll have a talk. But it ain't gonna get too much worse on this unit, at least in my opinion. And if it does, it is what it is. It ain't gonna last that long, because we're all gonna be fucking rich before we know it. Just stick to it. Just stick with it. You guys will be fine. Everybody gets scared, man. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And these numbers aren't always completely accurate either. It's really close. Gaming for fun. What's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. All right, we got the KS0 Pro 200 gigahash unit at 100 watts, making 69 cents a day. Actually, you know what? I want to see, even if I could put this back to 30 cents, right, where my electric rate is, because you guys know my electric rate's disgusting. KS0. We got, even at 30-cent electric rate, my KS0, if I ran it off grid and not off solar like I am, I'd make literally break even. So the KS0, no point for me to run unless it's on solar for free. The KS0 Pro, I'm still making 21 cents a day times 9 units, right? So almost $2 a day. $1.80. Not too bad. It could be worse. That's pretty decent, but at the same time, it's like, it's crazy. Like, these things were where the lithium box is when they first came out. That's like the biggest thing here, right? Let's see. Mr. who just did a Kirito KJ, dude, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Another dono to help keep the kids fed. RIP, that's 19K.
Perfect.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Let me see. Basic electric rate is cheaper at Terra 0.085. No, I think I don't know, actually. Did they lower it? It might be lower. I don't know. I thought it used to be 10 cents. Let's see. I don't think it's 8. I think it might be 9. Let's see. Maybe it's either 9 or 10. So if it's 9 cents, and that's the other thing here, right? These miners, the smallest amount of electricity rate, like increment or decrease, right? It changes the value or how much you actually make a day, right? So at 9 cents, I'm losing 5 cents. But if I'm paying 10 cents, I'm losing $1.16. It's crazy. So if I'm paying 8 cents, right, it's 17 cents a day, right? Profit. 7 cents, 83 cents a day. 6 cents, $1.49. You get $2.15 at 5 cents, right? I mean, maybe the big miners are paying like 3 cents, 4 cents. So they're still in profit if they have these units. But man, you imagine paying like somebody at home trying to be a home miner. Oh my God. Like, you pay being a home miner, being me, right? Imagine if I was running this thing at my house, I'd be losing $14.41 a day.
Bruh.
That is disgusting. That is so gross. Oh, that is so bad. All right, we're gonna put this back to 10 and we're gonna move on to GPUs. I want to see what the most profitable coin is for GPU mining today. Let's see. GPUs looks like Ironfish and Pyron still top of the charts. Ironfish has been freaking killing it, man. Pyron too. I'm still mining Pyron over to, actually I was mining Pyron to Neoxa on a mineable, and now I'm going back to Caspa just because I think it's I don't know. Like, I like Neoxa, love Neoxa. I think it's down right now. It's a very good opportunity to get enough to get another node. But I haven't even built my first one yet, so I don't care, I guess. I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'm not gonna fight for more Neoxa right now. I'd rather just go for more Caspa because I have a specific amount that I want to get to. All right, let's see. We have Ironfish and Graham on top of the charts for some of these things. Conflux, Firo for the 3090. Literally Ironfish and Pyron across the entire chart. Everything. 3090 Ti, Nexa, Chlor, and Ravencoin. Interesting. Ravencoin's actually did pretty well. I think I sold it like 4 cents last week, 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. So we'll see. I might buy back into that. We don't know. I've just held it for like years and it's kind of disappointing. Radeon 7 on Chlor and Raven. We have Xano and Pyron on 3060 Ti. Nice. All right, that's pretty much the consensus here. Ironfish is taking over. All right, let's move on to the mining pool stats.stream site. Let's check out new coins, see if there's any new coins. Nope, still this AI D-pin living off the hype of 2 buzzwords. Hopefully it's not just a poll, but I guess we're gonna have to see. Let's check out the events calendar. We got Keva coin in 10 days going through halving. Pyron is going through a 5th inning in 19 days, and ETC Ethereum Classic is going through a 5th inning as well in 28 days. So shout out to them. Hopefully we see good things. But man, 12 days ago, look at this. In the past, Bitcoin halving. Terrible. I've been through 2 halvings now. Me personally. How many halvings have you guys been through? Let me know. All right, we're gonna move on to the news segment of things. I want to get into this. We got a few things I want to watch today. Fun Strats Tom Lee discusses the market is pricing in a Trump win. Interesting. Let's see what they got to say over here. Max Voltage's ears just perked up for sure. Let's do it.
Back. We are still seven months out from the election. It's going to feel like 10 years, but it's only 7 months. But of course, wild speculation is already in full swing. And now the former guy, last name Trump, is starting to close the gap in some of the online prediction markets. Yes, the odds on political betting market predicted still show President Biden with a lead. But that lead is down a bit from a couple of weeks ago. And since the election really does only come down to about 5 or 6 states, we also got to look there. And the latest polling from Morning Consult showing that the former president leading in all but one of those so-called battleground states. Now, some polls will be different, but there you go. Perfect. Of course, we are CNBC. So we're not doing this for just political reasons. Others do that. We mention it because it could matter to the markets and your money. Trump has said he wants lower interest rates. I mean, he is a real estate guy after all. And President Biden wants to let the entire 2017 tax cuts expire, which would jack up taxes on everyone if he is unable to redo it and carve out a provision for people making under $400,000. Remember, he said that, but it's not a sure thing. The whole thing expires. You have to start from scratch. And in the stock...
Somebody wake that guy up, will you?
Stock market, defense stocks keep moving up as the real risk of war is rising in the Middle East. Again, this is not a political segment. We'll leave that to others. But the election could certainly matter a lot to the markets, the economy, and your money. Joining us now is managing partner and the head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisors, Tom Lee. Again, not an advocate for one or the other. But if we start to see a shift, what will shift in the market?
Well, as you point out, markets, investors have to think about, well, things could change in November. And to me, 2 areas that are obvious would be, I think oil prices would likely be lower because there'd be more drilling. Mm-hmm. So I think energy stocks would come under pressure. I think healthcare would come under pressure as well. And you should see a commensurate lift in groups like industrials. And, as you talk about the Middle East war ramping up, oil should be going up, and it's not. So in a way, the fact that energy's done poorly does tell us something else might be at work.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what we're looking at. It's an excellent point, right? And you talk about maybe we somehow get to 15 million barrels a day in oil. Well, you're probably looking at $60, $65 oil.
Yep, that's right. Lower oil is great for consumers, but it does mean lower prices for oil, and it wouldn't be great necessarily for the energy complex.
And the president has said, now here's the disconnect. The president's people will say, and the president himself has said sometimes, I'm going to, let the tax cuts expire for everybody but those making over 400,000. But the problem is that that's not how it works. It's an act. It's a rule. The whole thing has to expire. Then you have to start from scratch. And the president has said a number of times, and his team has posted it to Twitter, he's going to let the whole thing expire. So if we're facing down the barrel of higher taxes for everybody at the end of next year, minus the SALT deduction cap, which I wouldn't mind seeing going away, by the way, personally, then what?
Yeah, and it's not only could tax cuts expire, but I think investors worry about a new plan that might include much higher capital gains taxes as well. So I think that's...
You've talked about that.
Yeah, and I think that's going to send obviously a big chill to markets as well.
And higher corporate taxes. But our corporate taxes, which they're always like this boogeyman, people don't realize that corporate taxes, while important, are a small part of federal tax revenue. That said, they matter to the companies themselves. Would higher corporate taxes mean lower stock prices?
There's going to be an optical confusion for investors because, European corporates have much lower statutory tax rates. So over time, investors are going to look at U.S. and they're going to have earnings and they have to say, well, should I adjust the multiple because the tax rates are higher? But ultimately, it's not great for stocks because uncertainty creates discounts.
Do you expect the markets, I know you're still optimistic, still bullish, right? And you've been right. You've been long and strong and correct. Do you think we're going to kind of see what we saw in 2016, which is like a summer of nothing from the stock market?
Summer of nothing.
Summer's a slower time anyway.
Yeah.
But when you got this election, and the two are within 1%. Some polls are up, some are down. It doesn't matter. It's going to be close. We know that. Do you expect this? People just say, you know what, selling may go away because I don't know what's going to happen in November.
Yeah, I think it is probably a three-phase year. You know, I think we're still in the up phase, so maybe May, June we still rally. But I do think there's going to be a period of doldrums and adjustment, and then we rally, I know, sometime in the back half of the year. So I do think that middle part could be flat to down.
That was an abrupt stop right there. I wasn't expecting that. You guys see this? I gotta show you this real quick. It's gonna be muted. Did you guys see this? Hold on. All right.
So big news, y'all, for the next few months. I'm gonna be living out of this.
All right. Well, we're gonna redo this. Nope. That is not what I typed in. God damn it. Hold on. I want to show you guys this. It's funny. I showed Max already.
But Donald Trump Jr. tweeted that Biden is like a web browser. It's a hilarious meme. His mind is like a web browser. 19 tabs are open, 17 are frozen. He has no idea where the music is coming from.
That was like the best meme ever. Tell me that wasn't the best meme ever. All right, moving on. Crypto World CNBC Television. Bitcoin sinks to its lowest level since February to start May. Again, sell in May and go away. We've heard this time and time again. Let's do it.
Today, the month of May kicks off with a major Bitcoin pullback. Federal prosecutors reportedly questioned payment processor Block's former employees about its compliance practices, and Liz Lopato of The Verge breaks down what it was like in the courtroom when Changpeng Zhao was sentenced to 4 months in prison. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Cryptocurrencies are firmly in the red to kick off the new month. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin tumbled 6%, adding to yesterday's losses. The cryptocurrency fell as low as $56,500, the lowest level since February 27th. Meanwhile, Ether's also moving lower this morning, falling 3.6% and below $2,900. Solana.
Did we hit 56,000 on Bitcoin? I thought it hit 57. I didn't know it went down there. Damn.
Dropped 3.5% to $123. Okay, let's
You
talk.
guys know we're at like 58 right now, right? Let me just double check. Yeah, 58.8. So again, this is yesterday afternoon.
About the top stories. Federal prosecutors are reportedly digging into the internal practices at payments giant Block, the parent company of Cash App and Square. According to NBC News, former employees claimed to prosecutors in the Southern District of New York that Block participated in widespread and years-long compliance lapses. NBC News reports that a former employee provided documents that allegedly show insufficient information collected from Square and Cash App customers to assess their risk, and that Square allegedly processed transactions involving countries under sanctions. Most of those transactions reportedly discussed, which included credit cards, dollar transfers, and Bitcoin, were allegedly not reported to the government as required. The Southern District of New York declined to comment on this story. We also reached out to Block, but didn't hear back yet. Next, the Department of Justice is accusing a crypto influencer and early Bitcoin adopter of evading nearly $50 million in taxes. The DOJ unsealed the indictment yesterday, charging Roger Ver, also known as Bitcoin Jesus, with mail fraud, tax evasion, and filing false tax returns. The DOJ alleges that he gave up his U.S. citizenship in 2014 and provided false information to a law firm helping with his expatriation process by undervaluing the Bitcoin holdings belonging to him and his companies. Prosecutors also claim he sold tens of thousands of Bitcoin in 2017 for around $240 million, which he was required to report and pay taxes on, but hid from his accountant. Ver was arrested in Spain over the weekend, and the U.S. plans to extradite him for his trial. We reached out to Ver, but didn't hear back right away. Finally, Binance's ex-CEO Changpeng Zhao has been sentenced to 4 months in prison for money laundering violations. That sentence, handed down from a federal judge in Washington, is less than the 3 years prosecutors were pushing for and less than the sentencing guidelines of 12 to 18 months. In remarks to the court, Zhao reportedly struck an apologetic note and said that he failed to implement an adequate anti-money laundering program and that he recognized the seriousness of his mistake. Now, this shortened prison sentence comes after CZ struck a deal with U.S. prosecutors to resolve a multi-year investigation into Binance. In that deal, Zhao agreed to step down and pay a $50 million fine, while Binance itself paid $4.3 billion. In a statement to CNBC, the Binance spokesperson said that the exchange is proud of the culture of compliance, security, and transparency over the past several years, and we look forward to building on that culture as we continue to evolve. They added that the company had made considerable compliance enhancements. Meanwhile, Zhao posted on X last night that he would do his time, conclude this phase, and focus on the next chapter of his life, which he says is education. All right, let's keep talking about CZ for our main story. Crypto World's Jordan Smith spoke with Liz Lopato, senior reporter at The Verge, who was in the courtroom during Zhao's sentencing. She breaks down that prison sentence and how it stacks up against the last court case we spoke to her about, Sam Bankman-Fried's.
Someone said he's just on vacation or on holiday for 4 months until the bull run shows up.
Liz, welcome back. This is the second time you've been.
This lady just roll out of bed. What the fuck?
On the show, first for the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried, and now for the sentencing of Changpeng Zhao. Both times you were in the courtroom, but these were very, very different environments. And what was it like sitting in the courtroom for this hearing, and how did the judge sort of approach the sentencing of 4 months for CZ? And let me know whether you think that the sentence, which was below the guidelines, was what you were expecting.
So first of all, I'm here in Seattle. And
thanks for having me. I had a rough night.
So there was much less of a scrum of people trying to get into the courtroom. So that was a big difference. It was just much less of a crowd. And in some ways it felt a little anticlimactic, right? Like there wasn't the same kind of, drama around this. There had been a plea deal. CZ had, made whatever deal he had made with the feds. And it was a very sort of different environment in that sense. And when it comes to the sentencing, it's lenient enough that I'm really curious about a sealed matter that was referred to repeatedly in court. Because if you think about it and you think about all the things that were alleged in the complaint and all of the things that were alleged in the CFTC lawsuit and the SEC lawsuit, all of which now settled, it kind of seems like there was a lot of evidence for a lot of stuff. And yet we have CZ pleading to only one charge. And it's a charge that doesn't carry a lot of time. And he's getting sentenced for 4 months, which is less than the probation department's recommendation. So it makes me wonder what exactly he gave the feds, just to be blunt about it.
Is it a money or hand job? One or the other.
Whether it's just that, it's really they're able to better surveil
like a bandit.
Whatever's going on in Binance, whether they have a record of transactions, all of that stuff. It seems like there's some piece of this that we're missing. And I know it has to do with cooperation because that was mentioned in open court.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because...
Yeah, or maybe he's a snitch now. That's a good point. Maybe he's ratting other people out.
It seemed to come up time and time again throughout this hearing. And I was wondering if you had any sort of inkling as to what this might be, this matter that is under seal, or if we just don't know, and we may not know for some time.
We don't know. We may not know for some time. I can imagine that getting access to Binance would be really valuable for a whole alphabet soup of government agencies. It's also, there were reference to terrorist groups. There were reference to sanctioned countries. Those things can potentially be valuable. There may also be things that we haven't even thought about that are valuable, and then CZ, of course, is a really central figure in crypto, and Binance is a really central exchange in crypto. So it could quite literally be anything. But whatever it is, it's got to be relatively big for CZ to have gotten off this light. And I think maybe that's part of the reason we're in Seattle, because if you think about it, this is maybe an unusual jurisdiction to be pursuing this particular complaint. So I have a lot of questions about how we wound up here in the first place and what we don't know, that I think more so than I did when I walked into that courtroom.
I'm curious about the remarks that CZ gave in court. Talk about the tone that he took when giving those remarks, because he seemed pretty apologetic. He seemed to be remorseful, but did that translate in the room?
I would say so. He was very soft-spoken. And he was very attentive to whoever was speaking. When the judge was, reading out the sentence, he was nodding along. But there was a real sense in which he was trying to show that he had accepted that he had done crimes and that he was trying to repent. And that was like a real distinction from what I saw with Sam Bankman-Fried, who, he came in and gave a really bizarre statement about how he hoped somebody would build what he thought FTX could have been. And it sort of amounted to him saying something like, I would do this again, which the judge in that case also picked up on, and which I suspect influenced the sentence. So there was, I guess, a level of reality, I think, with CZ that we didn't see with SBF. Like, CZ understood what he was facing. He understood what he needed to do in order to try to get as light of a sentence as possible, and was willing to do it. There was just a level, it was watching somebody who's an accomplished businessman, like, finish off a deal that maybe isn't the best deal for him, but the best deal
chess, not checkers type deal
he's going to get under the circumstances.
Yeah, I think
Mike, our SBF is a special kind of dumb. Yeah, he's definitely special.
One of the things we heard time and time again during the SBF trial was that he's not doing himself any favors. Every time that he spoke, he was digging a deeper and deeper hole for him, whereas it didn't seem like that was the case with CZ. And I'm wondering, knowing what we heard from him in court yesterday, if that apologetic tone that he took helped ultimately lessen the sentence that he got, or if you think this was a situation of somebody who had a lot of money and really good lawyers helped work a deal that actually got him the 4 months, or if it was actually the tone that he took.
It's a good question. I think it was all of those things. I also think, the judge made reference to letters that he received, unsolicited letters about CZ. And he had like a little binder that he referenced having read, and said that had really influenced his judgment as well. And that his picture of CZ was relatively positive, and that he didn't think CZ was likely to reoffend, which again, that's a very distinct difference from what we saw with Sam Bankman-Fried, where there wasn't, this enormous binder of letters, and there wasn't the sense that, aside from a specific business decision that had been made, he had mostly been a good boy, right? Like, CZ made a business calculation, which was referenced in court, that it was better to ask forgiveness than permission. And that was something that the judge brought up as being part of the reason why he had assigned prison time, that like specific calculation, was not something he wanted to reward. But aside from that, he didn't see any problems with CZ, as a potential threat to the public, let's say, if he were allowed to be free again.
Yeah. There's something I want to go back to that you said back when we were talking about the SBF trial. You were making this point that time and time again in the crypto industry, people point to these cases and say, this is just one bad apple. This is something that's just off to the side. This isn't the industry as a whole. And you made a reference to somebody in the courtroom asking about Binance and whether everything was above board there. And then, now we see 6 months later where things stand with that. I'm wondering if you feel as though we're still in that sort of environment in the crypto space where, people are still have this mindset of, oh, it's just, one case off to the side, or if people are starting to feel like this is a more widespread problem that needs to be addressed. Where do we stand in that sentiment?
Real quick, Mr. Crypto Frank in the chat. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. He said maybe showed how countries go around sanctions, like CZ must have showed the bigger guys, right? And then he said that would be the next big thing compared to another exchange. They have all the accounts and transactions. Imagine China sending BTC to Russia. Proof. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, dude, that could totally be true. 1,000% that could be true.
I think that there's still sort of a widespread denial of the lessons that we could have learned from, that particular cycle. Because in some ways, this sort of puts a cap.
Again, thank you for the super chat. You're awesome. DJ screaming. Just gonna give it a second, but that could totally be true, man. That could absolutely be true. Let's see. That Sam Bankman-Fried has a cold wallet somewhere with some BTC on it. Oh yeah, for sure, Dan R. For sure. Imagine if you ratted that out. Oh.
On that particular bull run, right? Like these were the two key players there. And I haven't seen any real change in the industry aside from the approval of some, Bitcoin ETFs. And I don't know that we're going to necessarily get people coming into the industry. I think the people who are already there are going to stay there and going to continue doing whatever they're doing. But if you are looking to bring in outsiders, there does need to be substantial change. I haven't seen really any of that kind of change occur. And so I think to some degree, these are just a couple of bad apples explanations are a way of resisting the kind of change that could potentially lead to, a different outcome. And so I sort of expect something like this to happen again.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today. But
yeah, I mean, if it's gonna be hard. I mean, listen, like between SBF and now CZ, there's no other real big players besides Coinbase, right? But Coinbase is like the golden child of the government, right? Or BlackRock and everybody else. Anyways, I don't know. We're gonna have to see where this goes, but I bet CZ is probably gonna be throwing some other people under the bus, and that's probably why he got such a light sentence. That's such a good point, actually, that was made. All right, crypto bull run guide, it's over. Panic now. Let's see what Mr. Lark Davis has to say, guys. Obviously it's not over. Please don't panic, and the bull run hasn't even started yet. Let's do it.
It's over. Panic now. Sell everything. Run away from this damn scam market. Bruh. It's been the sentiment for the last week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. There are a lot of new investors around who have never seen a bull market or even a bear market for that matter. And even those who have maybe been here for one cycle, for example, it's just wildly emotional. People can be wildly emotional at the extremes. Price goes up, we're all wildly bullish. Price goes down, we're all wildly bearish. I get it. The game's hard. There's real money on the line. You're in constant battle, a life or death psychological fight with the market. So let's break down some of the recent FUD in the market, because I think it's a great example. I want to try to understand what really is going on and to give you an example of what should and should not be worried about in these markets. Then take a look at the big picture of what is happening and why you are fading what is going on by being obsessed with the daily noise versus the long-term signal in the market. So let's look at some recent examples. Number one is the SEC will likely deny an Ethereum ETF on May 23rd. Oh no, what are we gonna do?
I think everybody's expecting that, the denial of the ETF. They're gonna push it off as long as they can, let's be real.
First, it doesn't really matter. Ethereum has done all the price action that it has done, including the high of $4,800 back in 2021 or whatever it was, without an ETF. The ETF.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Is a bonus, but it's not essential to send Ethereum to $15,000 a cycle. Look at the staking, the burning, layer 2 adoption, all kind of stuff. Lack of approvals, neutral. Approval, when it does come, is positive. You might say, but Lark, what about all the SEC stuff? The SEC is suing Ethereum, MetaMask wallet, blah. They're trying to prove Ethereum is a security. It's all going to go down to zero. Well, okay, sure. Look, the SEC has been getting their asses handed to them in court. You need to understand that. Ripple kicked their butts. Grayscale kicked their butts. Coinbase most likely going to kick their butts from all the legal analysis that I've saw on it. And they will almost certainly lose to MetaMask as well. Plus, MetaMask Developer Consensus is also suing the SEC over their Ethereum rulings more broadly. So know this. One, there's going to be lots of lengthy court battles and nothing's going to happen soon. It's going to take years for this stuff to play out. Two, the SEC will likely lose. Three, the crypto markets are global and the USA is not the only game in town. And even if the worst happens, it kind of doesn't really matter that much. And you should expect more regulatory scare FUD during this cycle. It's common, it's normal, it happens, the markets move on. Now, what about media attacks? Big, important to understand what's going on here. Before we break that down, I just want to let you know for free. Check it out. You'll love it. So, media FUD. The media loves FUD. If it bleeds, it leads,
That's
right?
true.
The more sensational, the better. Truth be damned sometimes. For example, this story just got a lot of play online. Russia just banned crypto. Oh no. That's the headline that was breathlessly shared around social media and by media organizations. Sounds really scary. Well, The guy who actually wrote the bill that everybody is referencing, the actual politician in Russia, hit back saying, no, crypto is not going to be prohibited. Setting up crypto exchanges and over-the-counter services outside of the zone of operation of the experimental legal regime will be under prohibition. Let me translate that for you. Russia's not banning crypto. What they want is for companies to register and to follow the law, and that they're making it clear that if you're starting your own unregulated...
Why do Russians need to be so difficult? Why couldn't they just said that? I guess the media did it, so whatever.
Services,
that's crazy.
That's banned. So it's not even close
to... All right,
to...
so Russia's not banning crypto, which is... I mean, did we really think it was going to happen? But at the same time, like, man, that's a shining example of how crazy the media is. That's crazy.
Ban on crypto. Now, whether by intent or neglect, the media will publish 100 articles repeating the misinformation without even thinking to look at the source material.
Well, I mean, it's either that or it's the fact that they just want to stomp on it so the big guys can buy it. And then guess what? When everything's going up, it's like all price go up and everybody wants to jump on the train. And that's literally how the news does it. They just knock it down so all the big guys can buy, and then as soon as this starts ripping up, it's like Bitcoin, everything's Bitcoin on the whole channel. Like, it's crazy.
Fall for it, okay? Plus, be ready, because India is going to ban crypto again, and China's going to ban crypto again for like the 100th freaking time. I think we had 5 or 6 times of India banning crypto last time. And guess what? Crypto is wildly popular in India, so be ready for all that, okay? Now, what about macro FUD? I know it's all scary. Japan's failing, the rate cuts are coming, the housing market's falling, war in the Middle East, war in China. China's economy is on the brink of collapse. The U.S. economy is crumbling and on the brink of collapse. Societal decay and riots and chaos. Recession soon. World War III is coming. The dollar is dying. The economy's screwed. New Great Depression any single day. All sounds pretty damn scary, and some of that stuff is very scary. But most of it is massively overblown by people who want to push that kind of scare clickbait out there. Every day, some bad shit's happening somewhere. Get used to it. It's the world. And some of it will affect...
that's the biggest thing. We can't control anything that's happening in the world. I mean, maybe to some extent as like a humanity, right? Just be nice to everybody and stop fighting about stupid shit. But you can't control it. You personally can't control it. So just roll with the punches and pay attention to what's actually happening.
Markets, some of it not. Long term, none of it really matters that much unless it's nuclear Armageddon. Then we're not really worried about the price of our crypto coins. And you can engage in a lot of negativity and all that BS all you want. Or you can focus on where the market is actually heading long term. Innovation will not be stopped. Okay? Anyway, that's just some of the recent FUD in the market. And it's all the same stuff that we saw last cycle, just new variants of it. None of it really matters for the prices because everything will keep going up long term. You need to focus on what you can control in the market. You can't control all the news, but you can control how you react to it if you understand what you've actually invested in. You need to understand the market is a mechanism for transferring wealth from the impatient, which is most investors, to the patient, which are your whales and your smarter investors, all that kind of stuff. That when you're panic selling your coins on crashes, that whales and institutions are on the other side taking it. They want your Bitcoin, they want your Ethereum, your Solana, that kind of stuff. And in many cases, most investors will give it over to them because they get scared. They can't think long-term. They don't really understand what they've invested in. They can't handle volatility. Everybody loves the volatility on the upside. Nobody likes volatility on the downside, but it's par and course for this market, okay? And if you understand fundamentally the big picture, you're not going to lose sight of this, okay? So let's talk about that, because the next time you hear some FUD in the market, it might help you to keep a cooler head if you understand the big picture in the market. First, U.S. Bitcoin ETFs are here. It's massive. It's a giant moment for the market. They've accumulated $13 billion in new inflows in just 4 months. And even though they have stalled out recently, we can consider that this is just wave 1 of buying. What, you think no one's ever going to buy a Bitcoin ETF in America ever again? Come on. Of course, more buyers will come. Obviously, it's only a question of when and how much. Remember, gold ETFs launched in 2004, and after an initial surge in price for gold, it then consolidated for months before rallying 400%. Then we have all this other news. Hong Kong just launched ETFs. Big news. South Korea will soon. Australia will soon. ETFs coming to the UK at the end of the month. None of that's as big as U.S. markets, but it all adds more demand. Translation, a lot more money is going to be coming into the market. More money lifts all boats. Rising tide lifts all boats. Also understand that money is coming into the Bitcoin market post-halving. Only 450 Bitcoin a day are being produced right now. There is simply not enough Bitcoin to go around at these prices for everybody who wants to get a piece of it, especially when you consider long-term impact of all this stuff. That long-term demand is going up. We have a scarce asset, which means the prices will increase. It's just math. Look back at any halving, the price increase it's not immediate post-halving. Post-halving, there's usually chop that lasts weeks to months. Now, once the effect of the halving really starts getting felt, then markets lift off. But it can take a few months for that to really gather steam. Understand, too, that crypto is not only getting bigger by the day, but more people are coming in every day. 425 million crypto owners worldwide right now. Estimates are that we're going to hit 3 billion users by 2030. That is an insane compound annual growth rate for crypto in the next 6 years. Even if we double to be massive, but we're going to go way beyond doubling. By the way, there are more users of crypto in Asia right now than North America and Europe combined. And we see increasing regulatory clarity, increasing adoption happening in Asia. And guess what? They don't give a shit if the US SEC sues a crypto wallet company. Perfect. It's much bigger than that.
Very true.
Asia will be the leading force in the market growth in the coming years. The USA has absolutely dropped the ball with this aggressive SEC bullshit. Let's look at the total market cap of crypto, because this is what you're fading.
I'm glad he just said that. That's so true.
You're fading
1000% true.
MACD still in a solid uptrend on the monthly, showing that we're likely only just getting really heated up for the cycle. The target for the cycle is the 3.618 Fibonacci line. That's around a $9 trillion market cap. We're currently around $2 trillion market cap for all crypto coins combined. So if this is right, then we're going to add $7 trillion to the market cap of crypto by the end of the cycle. And I don't know how long the cycle takes. Probably the end of 2025. Could take longer, could be shorter. Who knows? But that's insane if we get to $9 trillion. If we get half of the way there, that's also insane. Think about it. Think about it. Anyway,
right now,
I hope that was useful
something
for you to help debunk a bit of the FUD and the bullshit that we're seeing in the market right now. It's shaking a bit of people out of the market. There's always going to be this happening in any bull market cycle. There's going to be FUD. There's going to be news that's scary, things that are scary.
All right. Shout out to Locke Davis for that. Let's see real quick. What are we at for a market cap on Bitcoin? A $1.1 trillion market cap. So imagine, even if it goes up to 4, like that's crazy. That'd be insane. That's amazing. All right, let's move on. Altcoin Daily. Why is Bitcoin still dumping? Watch this price level. Let's see what he's got to say over here, guys. That like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Why is Bitcoin still dumping? How low can Bitcoin go? When am I buying? What am I buying? Watch Bitcoin price hit this level. Let's talk about this in this video and find out everything else going on in the wonderful world of cryptocurrency. Smash the like button. Send this video to one friend who's just a little bit worried about the crypto markets. Let's get into it. Bitcoin's
I love the image you just showed, because that's my mug this morning. If you guys are interested, I do have a merch store. It's funny, I got this one on there.
price is tanking right now. Why? For context, remember, Bitcoin spent the first 3 months of 2024 in a major rally and the last 2 months in consolidation, and now it broke below support of about $62,000. Usually breaking support like this means that we're going to go lower before we go higher again. The question is, how low can Bitcoin go?
Would you guys be mad, honestly, if we went down to the 50s or even 40s?
At what price will buyers be enticed to jump back in? It's important to note, although this correction feels like a lot, Bitcoin is only 23% down from its highs of March. But putting it in context, here's a list of all Bitcoin pullbacks dating from the bottom of the bear market in 2022 all the way to today.
That's great. Oh, God, come on. I was trying to stop it on that picture. Like, look, so it shows 20% moves. Every pull, like it's normal. Like this is normal. This is what happens.
All the way to today. So February 2023, Bitcoin's price was in the low 20s. It fell 23%. That felt like a lot. In April and May of 2023, Bitcoin's price fell 21%. This was in the high 20s. This felt like a lot. In July and September of 2023, Bitcoin fell 22%. Bitcoin's price still ranging in the 20s. Felt like a lot. Felt like Bitcoin was never going to go up again. January 2024, now we're getting into 2024. Bitcoin's price fell down to the mid 30s. Everybody said the ETFs were a failure. In March of 2024, we saw that 18% dip. In April, May of 2024, we saw that 23% dip. And indeed, that is today's dip. So with Bitcoin being just 23% off its all-time high, why does it feel worse than it is? Well, take a look. This is the second longest run of red weekly candles in Bitcoin's history. Second to here in 2022 and tied here in 2015. Both times we were in deep bear markets. I think anybody who says Bitcoin's about to head into a bear market is way off. Because for context, Bitcoin just had the equal longest run of green monthly candles in its history.
Exactly.
7 consecutive green monthly candles, same as 2012.
It's the second time that's ever happened.
Consecutive green monthly candles. A red candle was inevitable.
Facts. And that's the thing that people are missing. People are missing the fact that we needed a red candle. Like it can't go up forever. It's impossible.
Now, interesting to note, the last time this happened, it was followed by a 6-month streak of green candles, then another 5 months of gains. So we did have that big red candle here, but look, huge rally after that, and then a huge rally after that. So what's the real reason that Bitcoin's
And that doesn't mean that's exactly going to happen, but most likely we're going to get some sort of appreciation because of the halving.
Is down? Well, it was really a buy the rumor, sell the news event with Bitcoin's halving. Now, 2 big Bitcoin narrative catalysts are in our past, the Bitcoin halving and BlackRock's ETF. Not that those aren't largely significant for Bitcoin's future, but in the short term, these 2 narratives are in our past, and we're seeing a cool down because of it. So, how low could Bitcoin's price fall? 50K? 45K? 40K? Where am I buying? Standard Chartered Bank says that Bitcoin's price could fall to 50,000. Major global bank Standard Chartered believes that the Bitcoin price could see further downside to around $50,000 according to recent comments. Jeffrey Kendrick, head of Forex and digital assets research at Standard Chartered, told the block Bitcoin's proper price breakdown below 60,000 has now reopened a route to the 50,000/52,000 range. Kendrick cited both the Bitcoin market and broader macroeconomic factors weighing on Bitcoin's price. He highlighted 5 straight days of outflows from the US spot Bitcoin ETFs and the slow start of the new Hong Kong spot Bitcoin ETFs as the reason for the recent price drawdown. Beyond markets, Kendrick pointed to deteriorating liquidity measures in the US that have put pressure on risk assets like Bitcoin. So, because support has been broken, I am watching for the 52,000 range for Bitcoin. I think Standard Chartered makes a good point. I think this is spot on. It might not happen because ultimately there's plenty of reason to be bullish.
You know what's interesting too? Like the $50,000 range is us as humans have like psychological level with like even numbers, right? So a lot of buy orders are probably just stuck at the 50,000. Do you know what I mean? That's people, I don't know why, just like round numbers, right? So if you could typically put it in a little bit higher, and that's why you said 52, you have a better chance of getting filled. Do you know what I mean?
Standard Chartered and Kendrick maintain a bullish long-term outlook. The bank recently raised its 2024 year-end Bitcoin price target to 150,000 and sees the price of Bitcoin potentially reaching $250,000 by next year, 2025. So I'm still
when people say things like that, I typically think about half of that.
Long-term bullish. I'm still bullish for Bitcoin and crypto this cycle. I do want to give you a warning though. You know the market goes in ebbs and flows, and Benjamin Cowen says there's still a real risk of alts versus Bitcoin pairs capitulating to the range lows in the coming months. What he means by this is altcoins versus US dollar, how we usually see the charts. Well, maybe they go up, maybe they go down, but alts versus Bitcoin goes down is what Benjamin Cowen is speculating. Nothing with investing is a sure thing, of course, but Ben says, I saw it happen last cycle just before rate cuts arrived and wish I had thought about that outcome, which is why I keep reminding you. Personally, I am into alts, trading, holding some quality ones. Altcoins are the best way to make money in crypto, and from the charts I'm looking at, the biggest altcoin season since 2017 is loading up. Take a look at this chart of the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. This is us today. As you can see, a few months ago, we broke out and now we're retesting, just like in 2020 here, just like in 2016 here. So anyone who is bearish here obviously hasn't done their homework. Altcoins about to enter the parabolic curve if we repeat 2016 and 2020. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Accumulation backtest, send it. This is what we're seeing.
What do you guys think about that? That's kind of a cool chart.
Months of glory ahead. But maybe this happens first. Important to note, too, that the total crypto market cap has just tested the 20-week moving average right here. Bounce here, keep the trend line. That's what we're looking for. And from a fundamental point of view, there's still a lot of reason to be bullish. BlackRock is moving ahead on its tokenized fund. Bitcoin ETF leader BlackRock leads a $47 million funding round in Securitize. BlackRock's Buildle fund, created with Securitize, has $375 million in assets under management. Securitize says about working with BlackRock, they say, for years we've been grinding and working on our tech stack, getting all our licenses and being regulatory compliant. The fact that this has led to work with the largest asset manager in the world, issuing the largest tokenized fund in history, is a super big accomplishment. The US spot Ethereum ETF is inevitable, particularly when we continue.
That's what I think too. Do you guys think the same thing? ETF's inevitable for Ethereum? I would assume so.
To see stuff like this. Patrick McHenry, the U.S. House Financial Service Committee chair, has accused Gary Gensler of misleading U.S. lawmakers over Ethereum. I mean, Patrick McHenry
McHenry literally railed Gensler about this freaking is Ethereum a security, and he couldn't answer. Like, listen, if you're that unconfident and you can't answer, like, there is no chance you're going to win this court case, ever.
One of several lawmakers who's trying to call Gary Gensler out on his BS.
And not to mention the ETF as a whole. Like, guys, listen, BlackRock is, you don't think they're in bed with like the government and all this shit. Like, listen, they're all trying to make money and they're going to make it together off of us. that's a fact. It's going to happen.
Remember this clip, Gary Gensler getting called out by Tom Emmer.
The biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion. Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
Bruh. And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met it with FTX at least twice. And arguably, the second biggest crypto failure in history was Terra Luna. Who was the chairman of the SEC when Terra Luna collapsed, sir?
We had brought...
You were, sir, reclaiming my time. You were. Does it concern you that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
We're trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws...
You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans.
And starting today, Coinbase rolling out support for the Lightning Network, enabling instant, low-cost Bitcoin transfers. The point is, my friends, despite this volatility, the industry is moving forward in a big way. Cryptocurrency is the future. I mean, Bitcoin and crypto did rally hard throughout 2023 and 2024, so this is par for the course. Stick with crypto. Now's the time to really dive in. Now that people aren't ecstatic, now that it's not frothy, now's the time to get serious about crypto.
He's not wrong. Shout out to Altcoin Daily for that. All right, guys. Crypto Zombie dropped a video yesterday, but froze on a random ass point in the video. Anyways, he's saying, welcome to the channel, but got a hobbyist thumbnail on Crypto Zombie. Look at that. Anyways. I gotta get out of here because I gotta get back to daddy duty. The wife's gotta go. 1 second. Okay. All right, sorry. Yeah, so recapping things real quick before I get out of here. We're gonna raid Miss Randy Hipper in a second. We got 58,585 Bitcoin. We have Ethereum at 2982. Solana in the deep green, 10% up on the day. $136, not too bad. I still think it's a decent buying opportunity for Solana and Caspa, to be honest. 10 cents. We have ETC at $25, LTC at $80. I think LTC is a fantastic buying opportunity as well. Let's see if anything's changed here. Looks like Hex got out of 100 because they were ranked 100. Looks like Say is down 53 cents. Nothing really crazy popping out at me. Maybe get out of the meme coins now because everything's up today. swap it out and see what happens, or just wait. Again, fear and greed index at a 43. If anybody's just joining, this is good. We needed a reset on this clock, right? Again, be greedy when people are fearful, be fearful when people are greedy. We are below the midway point. This is a fantastic buying opportunity, at least in my opinion. All right, guys, listen, love you all. Gonna get back to daddy duty. Have a great and happy Thursday. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, peace.